If anyone knows how to make friends,
Yeah.
please DM us and we need help. Hello guys, welcome back to our podcast, We the Wanderers, where we talk everything life.
Yes. As always, you've got your two hosts. You've got myself, Stevie, and Nick. And today we're going to be talking about like golden friendships.
Yeah, those little nuggets.
Yeah, little golden nuggets of, just good people that you have in your life that you should kind of really cherish that friendship and hold on to it. And this kind of came into our potty topic for the day because we're actually going to Nick's friend's birthday.
Sammy G, shout out.
Yep. So it's her birthday today. So we're doing barbecue bowling and then a bar.
And just, drinks after.
Barbecue bowling bar.
The triple B.
Yeah, triple B.
Anyway, shout out Sammy G, happy birthday.
Yes.
And I can definitely say that she is a golden nugget in my life.
Yeah. So it kind of just, I mean, as an adult, like maintaining friends is very different to when you're in high school.
Making friends as an adult is difficult.
Yeah, I can loop back around to that. That's another topic. That's another can of worms. But yeah, we kind of wanted to talk about when you find those friendships, and if you do have those good friendships in your life, really working on them and like actually trying to like
maintaining them. Yeah, it's like a lawn.
You
got to do maintenance, bro.
Okay, daddy.
You got to water that bitch. You got to mow that shit.
You don't have a lawn though, so do you know?
No, but
what else do you even do to your lawn?
Relationships are like a lawn. What do you mean?
Very true though. But yeah, we kind of wanted to have a bit of a chat about that today. So I feel like firstly, it's kind of acknowledging that friendships are very different when you're an adult, and it's so easy.
Almost like a job. Sometimes.
Yeah, some are. Yeah.
Some.
Yeah. It's so easy when you're in high school to like maintain friendships because you see them every single day. So you don't even have to like, you don't even have to really put in any effort to like make that work. So obviously when you drop out of school or, school finishes, it's like they say like your friendship circle reduces dramatically.
Absolutely it does.
And like, and I think when you're an adult then, and especially if you've moved, like, I mean, because you've obviously moved states, and I feel like I've moved heaps, that every time I go somewhere and I start over again, it's like, you don't have any friends. Like, you have to start from scratch. But in saying that, I am very lucky in that I have, like, a little group of friends.
A little bubble, yeah.
Yeah, who I've been friends with now for, I think we added it up and it was 9 years.
Yeah,
that we've been friends. And we all live all around Australia now. And it's kind of, I guess, what I want to talk about today is, like, trying to, like, firstly, I acknowledge that those friendships are those golden little nuggets that I want to, like, hold on to, like, for life.
Dearly, yeah.
And really, like, put effort into those wherever I can. So, yeah, whereas, I mean, you're obviously lucky that yours are a lot closer because you've made some really good friends through work.
Absolutely.
So that's firstly, which I feel like this is a whole other chat, but this is why I'm making my app so that adults can actually find friends and make friends, because it is so damn difficult. Yeah, it's so damn difficult these days. But that's a whole other thing. Okay, so firstly, I feel like we should acknowledge what defines a good friend. And if you think that particular friend or friends has these qualities, then that, to me, is, I think, what's most important.
Yeah.
I'm sure to everyone it's slightly different, but for me, I've written down here, they support your goals. So, whether it's a side hustle or a business or a like a physique comp, or, do you know what I mean? Some kind of goal, any goal really whatsoever, that they actually support you in it. Secondly, they encourage you to be better. So I think
push
always,
and motivate you.
Yeah, and always trying to, like, I feel like not everyone has to be, like, on the grind of, like, trying to be their best selves, like, all the time. Like, that can be pretty exhausting, but, like, you also don't want to just hang out and all you do is talk about, like, the good old days.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like, those days were great, but, like, what's next? Like, what, like, moving forward now, like, what's the next big thing for you? Like, where do you want to be in 10 years? Like, that kind of stuff, like, really excites me. So I like those conversations personally. Someone that you can be honest and vulnerable with. So, like, shit times when life is just shitting on you, you should be able to talk to them. You should be able to talk to them and be like, this is really hard, and, like, literally, like, cry on their shoulder and all of that kind of stuff. And if if you reach, oh, I'm just having a moment, a big realization, sorry. But if you reach out to them, if you reach out to them in a time of need, whether it might be like depression, you've lost your job, or, you know, there's so many different things.
Really,
yeah. And if they're like ghost town, like it's fucking crickets.
Yeah. So basically,
like,
are they a good support?
Yeah. But like, I've had
Network.
that actually, now that I think of it. And like, you could reach out and they'll just be nowhere to be seen.
Smoke bombed it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, what? And they're only there for the good times. Like,
Yeah.
they're there for all the highs where I'm like smashing it in business or smashing it in, like, do you know what I mean? Like fitness goals or whatever. They're there. They're by your side. They're like, yeah, get it.
Yeah, leech.
And then as soon as I need them, they're like, can we just like have a little crickets noise? I can't make a cricket noise.
Go on, try.
I can make a bird noise, but anyway. So yes, that's an important one. Fourthly, they can obviously, is that a word?
It is now.
It is now. Fourthly, they can acknowledge growth and change. Like, we all grow and obviously change as we get older. Like, you know, you got those friends from high school and you catch up and they're like, you've changed. And you're like, yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Like, if I was still the same person as like 2 years ago, it's like, oh, that's a bit sad. So obviously someone who can either grow with you, or like, I have friends who live really far away. They've got families now. I obviously don't. And it's like, they've changed because they've got a whole like new world. And I have a completely different world, but we're still friends. Like, we still, like, we acknowledge that. We acknowledge that our worlds are different and we still want to be friends. And lastly is that when you hang out with them and then it's time to like go home or, you know, whatever, is that your heart feels full. Like, you feel happy. You're like, oh, like you didn't feel judged. You know, you felt comfortable the whole time, and you go home and you feel good. You're like, oh, I'm so glad that I hung out with like such and such today. You're like, oh, we should do that more often. You know what I mean? Like that feeling. If you leave and you're like, I'm exhausted. Like, all they did was, you know, bitch about someone, or all they did was like talk about themselves.
Suck
or
the life and energy.
Yeah. I think
me being introverted, that is a very common thing to happen. A lot of people drain me.
Nick and I every day, he goes to the room. Oh my God, she's sucking the life out of me.
Go away.
No. But no, I had a friend like that once who, like, loved them, but it was exhausting. I had to like mentally prepare myself. I was like, okay, you can do this. And then it's like afterwards, I just was so drained.
Yeah. Is that really like a friendship you want to maintain though?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Like,
Yeah. And I acknowledge that.
If it takes a lot of work, like, it doesn't, it's not really worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So personally, that's what I think defines a good friend. If you have other things that you feel like should be in the list, or things in there that shouldn't be on the list, then obviously feel free to DM me. Try to convince me otherwise. No. No, I'm joking. But yeah, and then we kind of want to talk about like, what do we do to maintain friendships? Take it away, home slice.
You know, what do we do to get friendships?
Yeah, okay.
Because goddamn,
it's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin.
And I feel like this is one of those things where, like, I have learnt this from talking to everybody about, obviously for my app, is that everyone is like, yeah, it's hard to even just, like even if you are in a social setting and you see other adults, no one knows like what to go up and say. Like, it's hard to actually be like, hey, like such and such. And then you have that chat and like, you might be Insta friends, you might not. But even then, if you are Insta friends, like no one actually wants to be like, hey, like, do you want to hang out as friends sometimes? Yeah. Like, no one has the courage to actually say that. And like, I feel like I'm pretty like forward on that front, in that I'm like, want to be friends? Like,
me, no.
Yeah. So like, I feel like I'm pretty forward on that front. And if I struggle with it, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's other people who are not so extroverted that would struggle with it a lot more than I do. Yeah, you.
Me.
He's raising his hand right now.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, like, think back as a kid, it's so easy to make friends because, well, one, you haven't really, like, figured out who you are or what your values are, what your, you know, hobbies and interests are. So it's like, you can talk to anyone about everything and anything. Yeah, and so
your everything is like the sandbox and like soccer and like PE, like that, that and or the party on the weekend. Like, that is everything for you.
You're not worried about like future or past. history.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Whereas,
it's just
like, as you get older...
Hey, what are you doing right now with that sandbox?
Yeah.
Using that sand.
Are you using that sand bucket?
Yeah. You can use it if you're my best friend.
Yeah.
And then you got a best friend. That's
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah, yeah, true, actually. Maybe we should try that.
Yeah.
We'll go up to someone at the beach.
I don't think that would work too
Yeah,
well.
no.
But these days, it's like, you know, we are quite a judgy society. But you've already established, you know, what you like. And as it's kind of hard to make friendships where you don't have a mutual interest. You don't have to both like absolutely everything and anything and share like all your interests together.
Yeah, yeah.
But me personally, I don't think I can be friends with someone that has no interest as me.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Otherwise, what the hell do you talk about?
Well, even then, how did you meet?
Exactly. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
if you didn't have a common interest, like even if you work with these people every single day, and it's like if you go to talk to them about their weekend, and they're like, "I went snowboarding," and you're like, "I fucking hate snowboarding."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Okay, good chat, bye." Like, you're obviously not going to be friends with that person. But if they're like, "I went snowboarding and then I went surfing," and I'm like, "I hate snowboarding, but I love surfing."
Exactly.
Ping! It's like, okay, we're on, sis. Like,
yeah.
So,
which is totally fine because I know that some of my friends have interests that I do not care about whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, yeah. And it is kind of one of those things that they talk to you about those interests and you're like, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm happy for you. Like, do you know what I mean? I think that's the thing is like acknowledging that it's like you can be different people and you're like, yep, good for you, I'm happy for you. Or like, let's just say if they're competing in a comp, like they're going to, you know, compete in like a bodybuilding comp or something, but it has no interest to you. You can still... Stop. You can still be like, wow, good on you. Like, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
I hate the gym though. I have no interest in going to the gym. Not actually me, just this character.
Yeah.
But you could be like, good on you. Like, that's really good. I'm genuinely happy for you that you have actually succeeded in the thing that you wanted to do.
And that takes me back to point number, what was it? 1 and 2. Supports your goals and encourages you to be better.
Yeah.
You know, I don't expect you to froth all the hobbies that I do, even if you don't like it. I don't expect you to be like, oh, that's so fucking good, like, keep going. But just, I've noticed there's some people out there that are the opposite of supporting.
Yes, they
pull you down.
Yeah.
They don't want you to succeed.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say they low-key don't want you to succeed.
Like, they don't want to do, they have no interest about. So they're like, there's no competition at all because they don't want to do it. A lot of people still just try and suck you down to their level.
And sadly, that is the majority of people. Like, I say that very cautiously because, like, I don't know, I feel like in my experience, I've noticed, that, like, that there is a lot of people that will, like, think something. They might not voice it, but they think something. And then there's very few who will actually be like, oh, my God, like, you go, girl. Like, that's so good. Like, I'm so proud of you. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing is when you do get that little handful of people, they're the keepers. Yeah. You, like, keep them, like, hold on to them.
Straight in my basket.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, hold on to them. So, okay, do you have any tips for, like, maintaining good friendships?
We haven't even spoken about how to make friendships.
We don't know how to make friends.
What? If anyone knows how to make friends, please DM us and we need help.
No, on that note, I'm not trying to just, like, slide this in here. Yeah, like, shameless plug. But I am obviously creating an app which does launch very, 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 very soon. And it's called Viber, VYBA. And what it is going to do is essentially going to allow people to make a profile and you list your interests and hobbies. And then you can connect with other people on the app based on those interests and hobbies. So if you like, you know, surfing, you like hiking, you like photography, you're a musician and you want to create a band, like anything and everything. There's so much on there. Like even like going out and having like a girls' night or, you know, like, yeah, I know. Yeah, the girls. But yeah, there's just like so many options on there, you know, dog walking or yoga, everything. So yeah, it means that you can travel anywhere in the world and you can use it to find people with a certain age demographic, certain location radius from you, and certain activities. So if you know, want to do those things, as you, yeah, exactly,
which is the key.
Element to it. Because it's like, I personally have had this, and I have heard so many stories of other people who have missed out on doing the things that they love because no one else wants to go. Like, you're in a friend circle and you're like, okay, me, for example, I moved up to Queensland like over 2 years ago now. Sorry. And I love camping. I haven't been camping once. Like, I haven't found any friends that want to go camping. Whereas, like, when I lived in Darwin, we literally had a time where I went camping every weekend because I just loved it. So, prime example, it's like, you can't tell me that there aren't any people in Gold Coast who don't love camping.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just a matter of finding them.
Yeah, they're there. They're probably in my street. I just can't find them. But with this app, it will actually enable me to find them, or festivals.
Yeah.
That's another really easy one. Like, I want to go to a festival, but all my friends are like, oh, I can't because I've got kids now. Or, I can't because my boyfriend doesn't want to, or whatever. And you're like, great. You're like, none of my friends want to go. Whereas now, it's like, you can literally just see the event. You can see the other people going, and you can literally, like, reach out to them straight away and be like, hey, I'm going too. Do you want to catch up and have some prees? And they're like, yep, done. Yeah. And you could like, get like a group of people and all go together. Like, and that'll be sick.
So I guess, jumping off that is, do the hobbies that you want to do and be the person that you want to be, and you will meet people organically, naturally through those hobbies that you want to do. And then straight off the bat, you've already got a mutual interest. Just talk. Just say, hey. Say hello to someone. Yeah. If you keep going to do that hobby, if you're a surfer and you keep going surfing at the same spot, you'll meet the locals, you'll have a chat to them, you'll get known.
Yeah. I feel like, though, on that, I just think maybe it's like just in the last few years, obviously, because the world's changed, that people are a bit more closed off.
Yes.
In that, like,
no one wants to talk in person.
Yeah. Or even in that scenario, like, go surfing, right? And you think, like, I'll meet some other surfers, and after you, like, your third surf there, you know, you might, like, be able to, like, catch up and, like, make a friend. Yeah. But it's like, you might make a friend where every time you go surfing, you see them and you're like, hey, Bob, you know, and you do that, but you don't actually become that friend where you then hang out outside of that topic. Yeah. That's where it's hard. Whereas that's where, like, something, you know, like this will obviously change that. But it's
well, that's where you just need to try and link up. Say, hey, you know, follow me on Insta or whatever, and then just flick him a message.
Follow me on Insta and then just don't follow him back.
Follow for follow.
No jokes. Don't do that.
Or just get their number and just send him a message. Like, if you don't ask, the answer's always no. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes you just got to look like that weirdo.
Yeah. You want to be friends?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay, moving on. What to do to maintain and develop those golden little friendships?
Or maintaining friendships. I'll be honest here. Sometimes I can be pretty shit at this.
I'm laughing because...
Because what?
Because I know it's true.
For me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, I know that you... Like, we just had this conversation just before. Yeah. That's why I'm, like, laughing.
It's not on purpose, though. Sometimes I just go through seasons where I just kind of just going to go off grid and just forget to message people and stuff, which is, you know, a natural part of life.
Life
recognize
happens.
that other people do that as well. But sometimes I can get caught up in the little loop of, you know, if they're not messaging me, why would I message them? Like, it's not being reciprocated. You know, am I watering a dead plant sort of thing? But at the same time, I just got to take a step back and be like, hey, look, we're all adults here. I have my individual life. They've got theirs. They've got other commitments, partners, kids. They also work. It's quite hard with being a shift worker as well, maintaining friendships, because it's very hard to catch up with people outside of work, because we're kind of all just passing by, really. But yeah, as for maintaining a friendship, sometimes it can feel like a job, and you need to put in work, but once you find those golden friendships, the work you need to put in is
like
less.
It pays off tenfold.
Pays off, but it's also less. It's not as draining. And it's reciprocated. Yeah. And both parties of the friendship are valued equally.
Well, I personally think that the easiest way to maintain a friendship is the tool that we all have in our pocket, is your phone. Like, prime example, we've got one friend who lives in Darwin, one who's in WA, 4 that are in Melbourne, one that's like out of Melbourne kind of thing, and then I have one that's in northern New South Wales. So do you know what I mean? Like, all of mine are scattered all around Australia. And I will admit that, like, all of us have times where, you know, you might chat to someone and you're like, bro, like we haven't spoken in so long, like, and then you have this massive phone call and you're like, oh my God, we have so much to catch up about. And you're like, we have to make sure that we do this like every fortnight. And then all of a sudden you blink and like 3 months has gone past and you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Like it is easy to do. And I think that's the thing, is you just have to acknowledge that like life happens and like we all have jobs. Some of us have kids. We've all got relationships that we have to nurture. Like, you know, most of us go to the gym or we have hobbies. Like you've got this whole thing going on and so do they. And sometimes it can get so easy to, it sounds horrible, but like you forget, like you don't, it's not on the forefront of your mind is like, must nourish friendship, must waterfront. What? Must water my friendship plant. That's
must waterfront.
So yeah, like I think that's not, you know, the first thing people think of when they wake up. So I think that if you've got one of those friends that you can go, you know, a month, 3 months, 6 months without talking, but when you talk, there's no judgment. It's no, you haven't contacted me.
Yeah, it's as if
like
the 3
there's no
months hasn't gone
sourness.
by.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, oh, how you been? Oh my God, life's been busy. Oh, me too. Like, you know, that's like, I think that's normal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
But
mean?
at the end of the day, they have to be on the same sort of wavelength as you. They have to value the friendship just as much and also put in effort.
Yeah, I think if you are constantly reaching out, and not just, I think there's a 3-time buffer zone. I think if you reach out to them 3 times and you like don't get a response, or you do get a response but it's a week later, or do you know what I mean? It's a very short answer response. You're like, how have you been? And they go, good.
Like a catch up, and you're the only one organising.
Yeah. I think there's 3 times. If you do it 3 times in a row and you still get nothing, then it's like, okay, like you're clearly not that, or this isn't as important to you as it is to me. So it's like, all good, you're lost. Like I'm just gonna let it be, like let it go. Yeah. But I think that like you should give a buffer zone. I think if people are like, oh well, you know, and I hear this all the time, and I'm not just saying this from Nick, but like I hear this all the time where people are like, oh well, they haven't reached out to me, and it's like, yeah, but they have a family, like they've got kids, like they've got mortgages, I'm very
realistic with it.
Yeah. Oh, that wasn't at you.
I know.
But like I hear it all the time, and it's like, yeah, but like they have a life. Like it's hard. Like it's hard to reach out. So yeah, I do think so. I've written some little things here. So I think firstly is a call. Like I had a big call with my friend Jacob the other day, and it was so nice. Like, and we just, you know, and like half an hour just flew past like that. And even then with some of my other friends, we'll schedule like a Skype or like a video chat.
Skype?
Well, yeah, not an actual Skype, but you know what I'm saying, like a
Facebook
video call or something.
FaceTime,
yeah. And we'll tee up to have like a wine or something, like as we do it, and then it'll be like a 2-hour chat. Yeah. Like it's like with Sam the other day, we talked for like an hour and 40 something minutes.
Yeah.
And there was just so much to talk about. Secondly, voicemails. If you have ever DM'd me, you know that I always reply with voicemails. Mm-hmm. I think that these are so underutilized because you can actually hear how someone says something. Yeah. So if you're like, oh, I'm launching a podcast, and they're like, they text you back and they're like, wow, cool. You're like,
are they saying,
bitch.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, but if they voice...
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, if they voice memo you back and they're like, wow, like, that's so awesome. Like, I'm so proud of you. You're like...
Baby steps. If you get a message back, that's a good step in the right direction.
Yes. But I think voice memos, like, I love sending voice memos, and I just love being able to have friends, like, actually voice memo me back and say, like, all the stuff that's going on in their world. It's just nice to hear their voice. I think it's like, I think it's really important. Messages can be so easily misread with like the tone. Yeah. So obviously try to visit when you can. Like, and once again, this is a big one for effort. Yep. Like, I mean, people live far away. Yeah. Well, one of my friends, like Steve, like he lives maybe like 45 minutes away. And it's like, oh, that seems pretty far. But it's like, well, actually, if we both meet in the middle, it's not that far. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just kind of being like, hey, like, do you want to catch up? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do this so it's not too much for one person. Yeah. So I think, making the effort. It is hard. Some majority of my other friends live interstate. So I do actually have... Here we go. Shout out to Taylor. One of my friends, he turns 30 in November, next month, and it's his 30th over in Perth, and I obviously fully planned on going, but very sadly I can't go just because of, well, business. Let's just call it that. Because of trying to start a business, I can't make it happen.
Just life, really.
Yeah. But like, I do really think it's important to try to get to those things. Like, if you can, like, make it happen, because those things are so important, and like, it's an opportunity, even if you get to see them once a year, like, is so important. And our friend group, actually, shout out to my whole friend circle here, is we are actually really good at pre-COVID. Every year we would catch up and do something. So like, it was Bali for the first few years. When I lived in Canada, they all came over to Canada for New Year's.
That's it.
And like that's like no small feat.
That's
like
effort.
Yeah.
That is a basket of golden eggs.
Yeah,
right
I
there.
know. And it was like so good. And then we're going to go to Japan, and then that just didn't happen. And then kind of COVID hit, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another time was just Melbourne, and we went to like Rufus du Sol, and like,
yeah, that's mad.
like, yeah. And it's just, so I think it's like, it's a lot of effort to put it in, but if you can do it even like once a year, once every 2 years, and then you get there and it's like nothing's changed, and you're genuinely interested in like where their life is at, like what are their kids doing, like, do you know what I mean, like in their spouse, all of that, put in all the effort and you will get it reciprocated. And I think it's just so worth it. It's too,
reciprocation is key though.
yeah
Absolutely.
yeah I think, I don't know, life's too short to go through it and like not cherish friendships, and then you get to a point where you need a friend and there's no one there.
Yeah.
Like, that's sad. So I would rather put in all the effort and be able to like reach out to my friends. And also, like, when you have little wins in life, it's so much nicer when you have all these friends that are like,
celebrating it with you.
Yeah, they're like, they're your hype
for
people.
you and with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that. I think it's like so important. So yes.
So we'll wrap it up. We'll just jot down a few key take-home thingos.
Do you have some?
Yeah, no, just wrapping up what we just spoke about.
Okay, yeah. Just obviously, pretty much just spotting a good friend, and then
talk to people at your hobbies.
Yeah.
Talk to people.
Yeah.
Say hello. There you go. That's seriously.
I feel like I need to watch you do this. I need to.
Hello.
Yeah.
Then fuck off.
But yeah, obviously spot those good friends and then cherish them. Put in the effort, like plain and simple. Put in the bloody effort. Like, use your phone. Like, use your phone.
Send a
it's
message.
So easy. Yes.
If you don't want audio, that's fine. Just send a message. Say hello.
Yeah.
Have a buffer zone. Set yourself, a buffer zone.
Yeah.
Whether it wants to be 3, like you guys, you're
Feel it
individuals.
out,
You guys choose what you want to do, what you want to tolerate. But have a buffer zone if they're not reaching it. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. You can kind of. It sounds
make
bad,
sure they have the
cut
same
off.
values as you, and honesty, respect, whatever. Mutual hobbies, definitely important. What else is there?
And
they uplift you.
Work on and just
they
work
don't
on
have to uplift you 24/7, but they have to not bring you down.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in our next one, we are going to talk about the opposite. So if friendships are maybe toxic, one-sided, negative Nelly,
Not
like
reciprocated.
that kind of thing, we are going to talk about that and
how
like
to navigate through it. And
like how to spot those ones. Yeah, exactly. How to navigate through it. You know what I mean? Maybe how to let a friend go.
I'm the master of that.
Are you?
No.
Oh yeah,
it's ugly no matter what. Anyway,
I just let it.
May not be
fade
the very
out.
next podcast, but it will be up and coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Hope you guys learnt something from this podcast. And you got to take something home with you. So
yeah, absolutely. Anyways, have an amazing afternoon, guys.
Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to follow us on we.thewanderers on Instagram, and stay tuned for our next episodes.
Nailed it.
God damn.
Okay, see you guys.
See you guys in the next one.
Bye. Oh. I forget every time.
Hey, motherfuckers.
Hey, bitches.
Bitch.
Get all the sound. Hi.
Can I get a hi?
Can I get a hi?
We're gonna be doing an episode of ASMR for you bitches. Got a scar.
You